Hi there everyone, Taylor here. Today I'm going to be doing my public speaking speech, informative speech on antibiotic resistance. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, antibiotic resistance is one of the most pressing public health concerns across the United States and across much of the world. The biggest issue here is that illnesses that were once easily treatable become illnesses that are widespread that we are unable to treat due to antibiotic resistance. First off, in order to understand antibiotic resistance, I want to go into what is an antibiotic. An antibiotic is a strong medication that targets bacterial cells that cause infection. Many of the infections are severe and can lead to death, so antibiotics are really important. There are three common forms of bacteria that antibiotics target. That is Streptococcus, Staphylococcal, and E. coli bacteria. Streptococcus is split into two groups. Group A, which is your strep throat, pneumonia. Strep throat can also lead to scarlet fever, which can be really severe and lead to death. And then we also have TSS, which is toxic shock syndrome. Group B is often found in your blood. It's a blood infection. It can cause urinary tract infections, and infants who are exposed to the bacteria through the birthing canal can also develop pneumonia and several other types of infections if left untreated by the mother. E. coli is a type of bacteria that lives in your intestine. The E. coli bacteria is typically found in food. That's how we get it. I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple of years ago here, we had a huge E. coli breakout here in southern Colorado of cantaloupes that infected several people, and I think 17 people died, if I remember correctly. So, according to Dr. William Shield, there's over 100 forms of antibiotic medications. All of the antibiotics stem from 7 basic medications, though. Of those is penicillin, cephalosporins, and macrolides. Those are the most common. There's several others, names I can't even mention, so I'm not even going to bother. Then we need to go in, how does an antibiotic work? So an antibiotic works through a term called selective toxicity. This is the ability of the drug to target sites specific to the microorganism causing the infection. So this is a kind of complicated topic, but it's also basic biology. Your cells are split in between two groups. So you have eukaryotic cells and you have prokaryotic cells. Our eukaryotic cells are animal and plant cells, the cells that are found in humans. And then our prokaryotic cells are bacterial cells or unicellular organisms like fungi and things like that. And those are what is causing the infection. So there are things that these bacterial cells have that our human cells do not, and that is what the antibiotic is targeting. For example, some bacteria have a cell wall, whereas only plant cells have a cell wall. We do not have a cell wall as humans. So medications like penicillin specifically attack the cell wall and kill off the bacteria that way. Antibiotic resistance occurs most commonly when the drug prescribed is misused. This is a big problem. A lot of people don't understand it because they'll go into their doctor's office and wonder why a doctor will not give them medication for a cold. This is why. Antibiotics will not target anything that doesn't have to do with bacteria. It typically occurs when bacteria alter themselves in a way that reduces the effectiveness of the drug. The bacteria then survives and multiplies. So some people think that antibiotic resistance can lead to a superbug that we are unable to tackle, and it'll lead to severe infection and death in many, many people. So the final thing I wanted to talk to you about is how can you help? You can discard any leftover medication, prevent infection by consistently washing your hands, using proper hygiene, take antibiotics exactly as they are prescribed to you. Don't take antibiotics that are prescribed to somebody else. Don't use leftover medication for a new illness, things like that. Antibiotic resistance is a growing problem in the healthcare field. It is important that people are aware of the issue and taking proper precautions to avoid antibiotic resistance.